Today I'm going to try to create Plants vs Zombies but Disturbing and RTX, as you already know. A strategy game where you plant something in your backyard and defend yourself from zombies, because yes, the original game was released in 2009. So it doesn't have the stunning graphics of current games. But anyway, the first step is to obtain the plants. I downloaded some models but ultimately deleted everything as they didn't suit the RTX art style. Fortunately, the plants featured in the original game exist in reality, making it easier to create a realistic version, so I included the first plant, the sunflower. I imported it into Blender and rigged it with bones for animation, but the issue is that I've never animated anything before. Fortunately, I can utilize a physics system, meaning I only need to move one bone and the physics will take care of the rest automatically. I created one animation for when it's still and another for when it sneezes. Yes, it emits sun particles like a sneeze. And to make it even more disturbing, I placed an eye that stares intently at the mouse pointer. Then I added the walnut, breaking it into small pieces so it could be slowly destroyed to a certain extent before being completely obliterated. I gave it eyes and animated it as if it were nervous. Well, who wouldn't be if it was literally being destroyed bit by bit without any way to defend itself? It's quite disturbing. Then, I added the pea vomiter, took a random plant, and placed the head on top. Added a bone, and created animations for both standing still and vomiting. For now, it's spitting air, so I created the pea, which is nothing more than a textured sphere. In the original game, the pea follows a linear trajectory. In 2 dimensions, it appears fine, but in 3 dimensions, not really. I resolved this by giving the pea a parabolic path. Let's go like it's a cannonball, and upon impact leaves a suspicious green liquid. As a side note, I constructed the ice pea shooter, which only requires duplicating the standard pea shooter and reusing a snow shaker I made long ago. And as expected, I also changed the color of the ball to white, just like the liquid it leaves upon impact, making it even more suspicious. Anyway, in the code, I programmed the victim to turn partially blue to show they are frozen. Incidentally, I restricted the aiming angle to prevent shooting backward. Now I need to make the explosive cherry. As the name implies, it is a cherry that expands, detonates, and deals area damage. To make it enlarge, I could simply animate the cherry scale, but it looks a bit tacky since the stem and leaf also grow. Thus, I added bones to allow individual scaling of the cherries. When they reach a certain size, an explosion particle shows up. Finally, I added the potato mine. I downloaded a model with scanned textures, literally because it had millions of polygons, so I had to reduce it a bit to improve performance. To ensure it looks like a mine and not just an ordinary potato, I added an electronic plate from a time bomb model. I also added the antenna inspired by the original game, imported it into Unity, and programmed its behavior. Basically, it stays charging from the ground's eyes for a few seconds. Once ready, it rises from the ground, the antenna lights up, and then it explodes, concluding its tragic existence. And that's it. 6 plants are enough. Adding more gives me peace. But well, it's time to throw the test scene in the trash and create the final one. The original game's map is set in a typical neighborhood in the United States, so recreating it won't be too difficult. While exploring the Unity store, I discovered this pack with the needed models. It's going to be painful to purchase this, so please like this video. But well, I started by creating the structure of the map with pavements and grass to have a reference for where to place things. Then I placed the houses, and I decorated it with little plants, lights, and more little plants. Here, I made a giant space on purpose, as this is the place where the game will take place. Currently, the graphics appear awful, so I have to make it look RTX. I added post-processing and, crucially, the color correction. The map can still be better, and I nearly forgot the street decorations, so I added trees and light posts. What's fascinating is that it's not just for street decoration, because by adjusting the sun's rotation, you can project shadows on the houses for a more dramatic and interesting effect. This technique is indeed used in photography to give artificial lights a more natural appearance. Plus, I added more details, including traffic lights, a post box, my games, automobiles, and an automatic mister of strange white liquid. And that's it. The map is finished, so now it's time to program the gameplay. Initially, I programmed the sun to rise from the sky every 6 to 8 seconds, just as in the original game, with the sun system already in place. You can plant now, so I arranged the grid for the plant's positions. I made it draw over everything to prevent it from being covered by plants due to the camera perspective. Next, I made a creepy portrait of the 6 plants featured in the game to use as an illustration in the interface. Upon selecting the card, the grid illuminates to position the plant. However, it will be in black and white if there isn't enough sunlight or if the cooldown time hasn't finished. Then I added the shovel to destroy an unwanted plant. Completely remove it from memory. Wipe it out.
How cruel. It's time to implement the zombies. As expected, I wasn't going to use the zombies from the original game due to the art style, so I recycled the models I had used for the CSGO video. I programmed their artificial intelligence, which basically moves along a row of the grid. It attacks when it detects plants. If not, it keeps moving until it reaches the house. A level takes about 150 seconds. In the first level, a total of 20 zombies appear. Therefore, zombies should spawn as time progresses. We need to use elementary math. Using this formula, it indicates that there should be 10 zombies at the 75-second mark, which is exactly half of the game. However, in practice, one must first go through a curve to balance the game. Otherwise, there would be too many zombies at the start of the game. Anyway, to wrap up the game, I made the progress bar that shows how far you are in the game, the alerts that pop up during gameplay, the menu for when the game is over, and finally, the main menu. I literally grabbed the game scene and removed all the unnecessary elements to ensure it loaded faster. After that, I placed 2 graves that players can interact with, inspired by the original game. And there you have it, the project is complete. The game has no limits, so as you level up, the number of zombies increases, and it will reach a point where it becomes impossible to pass. Honestly, I couldn't pass level 3, and as you might expect, there is no night scene like in the original game. Consider it more of a survival game, and that's all. In any case, the game is available only for PC as it doesn't work on Android. For it to be a proper port, I'd have to reduce the graphics to such an extent that it wouldn't be worthwhile. Regardless, I'll put the download link in the description. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you want more games in 24 hours. And sometimes RTX. Follow me on Twitter if you want spoilers for upcoming videos. I am LuisDev, and I'll see you in the next video.